But just gonna make sure this is working. So the younow tools. There we go. Good. So I haven't really used these all that much, but I thought they did some cool stuff, and I'm actually gonna show some results if I can. So the first thing you have to do, and these are command line tools, they work perfectly in Windows. In SUSE Linux, you can't use SUSE 42.2's version of Node.js, which is it's an application layer, shall we say. You have to use the one that's available at the Node website. So first of all, let's just search for this Node.js. I just did this. Alright, so here's Node.js. First thing to use the younow tools is to go and go to download. That's what worked for me. It's going to do this tar.xz file. Doesn't take long to download. And then you should go tar. It's a regular user. What it was called. It's xz. This one, tar.xf, and the name of the file you just downloaded. It'll create a folder called node dash most of that stuff. Okay, I'm gonna rename this to Node. In fact, I kept this, but I'm gonna do this is what I did before. Good, delete that. Okay, so I rename this to Node, just Node. Nothing else. Next, I could delete this file. Next thing I could do is show hidden files. You want to go to, at least in SUSE, at least on mine, you want to go to bash rc. You're going to have to path two things. So when you type the node command in, it'll come up. I also have this for a Microsoft SQL server for Linux. I'm trying that thing out. You have the export path, and if you have anything there, you put an additional colon and then where the bin directory is. And in this case, under node, there's a bin directory. There's one application called node, but also under, strangely enough, under library node modules in npm, and then binary, there's another app called npm, and you need that to install your younow tools. And so you have to have this extent of a line pathed in your bash rc. So that's what I got there. All right. Second step is so if it doesn't work for you, you have to get error. You have to make sure you get the npm from the Node.js, or in fact, the whole Node.js from the Node.js directory, just like it did. Unzip it, put it in place. Then npm install -g younow. So I guess Node.js tools has a repository that is much like, say, Perl. Okay, so it's going to get all this stuff. And when it didn't work on the older version of Node.js, all this stuff didn't come up. And they say npm update -g. I'm not so sure how important that is. With no dash, so npm update npm space update space -g, and it'll do something. And what it's doing is it's updating this little area here. Instead of installing it on your system, installed locally in your own home directory. All right, so now we have younow tools, and what it tells you basically is that it will place, the first time you run it, and go to my home directory, get rid of these hidden files, and I don't see it here yet. The first time you run it, it'll create a directory called younow tools in your home directory, and it'll put a little text file called broadcasters, and I'm not sure how that works. I'm also going to, once I just run younow the first time, and you'll be able to see that you type U and hit the tab key, it'll complete it for you. It means it's pathed, and you won't get that unless you edit the bash RC that I just showed you. Okay, so do it. There goes the younow tools directory just appeared. But just typing younow doesn't really do anything. What I want to do is I want to actually follow myself. I've got 2 accounts here. So, I can find it. Or I'll just look at my bash history. So what I'm saying here with this command is every 3 minutes, using my account, follow my other account. But it'll do a bunch of other stuff. Oh, I didn't change directory. Stop. Okay, Control C stops it. I'm going to change directory to younow tools. If you don't run it in this directory, it'll download. It'll actually download video clips, and it'll download those video clips in whatever directory that you're in. You also want to make sure that you have enough disk space. Got 442 gigs. I think I'm going to live. So now I'm going to do this, and it tells me basically all you know, who's okay, who I'm following, and if someone's broadcasting right now, it'll actually start from the beginning on 2 people. The rapper Dapper is broadcasting, so it's Jesse Parker, and we'll start from the very beginning, and it'll download the whole thing and keep it in this younow tools directory. And these TS files are actually the video files. Rapper Dapper's going quick. Wow. Yeah, because he's rewinding or something. And I guess so it still has your stuff on their servers. Now, whoever programmed this, and it wasn't me, and I don't know how to change the programs, otherwise I would have fixed it to work. And the version of Node.js that was installed in SUSE that I ended up removing to be able to do this, the individual's name is Uncravard. And I don't know if here's the GitHub. He has a GitHub repository. Let's take a look at it. Give him credit for making this. And obviously this person knows what the younow API is. And basically, the API is just a set of commands, I guess. I've never programmed, but it's the API is like the rules of the way a platform works, and younow is the platform. So let's go here to this guy's GitHub. This dude. Kudos to this dude. He's made this, and there's something else called CLI client, or that's the description. So he's made the younow tools. Cool deal. Guess I could follow him. Or should I? I don't want to feel bad. Cool dude. So maybe when he has an update, if I ever happen to log back into Git, where I've had packages I've tried to compile before, and see that he's made something new, cool. Because it's useful, and he's been helpful with people that have had issues in the past. And he's a cool guy, responsive. He's done this for free. He's not charging for it. And he spent a lot of time with this guy, helping him out. So I want to make sure he gets credit for that. And while I'm downloading, I wonder if it's having any interference on my own broadcast, but hopefully not. So that's it. How to use these things, I might come back at some other time. So broadcasters, I don't know why that's there. There's some kind of JSON. I don't know what JSON files do. There's JPEG. The photo of the person's gone up. There's Rapper Dapper. Two very cool people, and there's Jesse Parker. And JSON. I don't know what those things do. Anyway, so I think that's it. I think it can be useful to people. Now this thing will not. Okay, I like a couple of things. So this thing won't stop unless you do Control-C. And it refreshes every 3 minutes, but while it's doing, it's actually saving video, and it saves the whole thing. There's a couple ways you could actually run this without having to keep your command prompt open, because who wants a command prompt sitting open? They want to move on to their own things. But at the same time, of course, since this does tend to want to download complete videos of everyone that you've fanned, your disk could get full pretty quickly, and you might want to know that this is running. I'm pretty sure this could probably be called from a cron job. You know, the shell usually doesn't appear when you do a cron job, but cron jobs are usually periodic, like once a day, once a week. You only need to have this thing launch once. Another way to do it is, I think there's something called nohup /nohup in Bash, and it will allow you to close the Bash shell without having to worry about losing what you're doing. At the same time, though, if you open up the Bash shell again, it's not going to say, okay, do you want to close younow now? So you probably have to run something like LSOF. I want to see what it looks like. LSOF just says, what are all the files that are active on your system, and what are they doing? Which is a lot. So I'm going to do grep. I'm just going to look for anything that says younow. And there's nothing. How about node? There's a lot. From node, and what you'll see here is it's got this is process 30181. Every Linux process has a number. So if I do, I believe this is going to stop if I do a kill 30181. And it did. So that's what you do. So you do a grep for a node, and then it stops, and it stops everything. Now let's see if this stuff works. So Rapper Dapper is up to gig. Oh yeah, don't just click on it. I'm gonna open up VLC. In fact, I'm gonna associate this with VLC. So there we go. Now, the only thing about these files is they don't really have a time associated with it, but the whole thing is there. Let me get this. So the whole thing will be there. It just doesn't have a time associated with it, and I don't know what to do with TS files, actually. So, the only problem with this thing is, when do you run it? Why would you run it? Say you want to save something for somebody. Like maybe he'd want, this is a cool experience for him. And if he's not channeling it to YouTube, he might want a copy of this. Then it'd be a friendly gesture to offer it to him. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna do a little bit of research. So this part I haven't done. I'm pretty sure I already know how to do this, actually. So if I wanted to convert this as something else, even more useful, I would have to actually open the media. So let's close this. And let's cancel. Close. VLC, where are we at? Media, open. No, I'm not doing that right now. And we're stuck. That was not special. Okay, media, convert and save. I'm going to add a file. It should actually be in the younow directory. Where'd you go? There we go. And let's see, Rapper Dapper, open that up. Convert to, I'm going to call it browse. Oh, there I am. Okay, we're going to call it. That's what I want. Or I'll just, okay, containers. I guess I just name it what I want it to be. So let's call it Rapper Dapper, and he's probably not done, so I'll do this later. MP4, go back. Start. And I think, let me take a look here. It's starting to make an MP4, I hope. Yeah, it's going to grow. It's going to get big. And why is that only... No, it's 1.1 gigs. So that's how you would convert it, and you would actually, at the end of the day, actually have an MP4. That's, yeah, that's cool, I guess. So that would be it. VLC, all this stuff runs in Linux and Windows. So VLC, you should get that. The author of the program says it's a requirement to have something called FFmpeg. Good program to install. It's a lot of good programs need that. You can get that. There's support for that for Windows. I'm using the stock version on SUSE Linux and stock version of VLC on SUSE Linux 4.8.2. It is June 24th, 2017. So in a year from now, if this doesn't work for you, that's why. Because things change. And I've gotten rid of the Node.js file I downloaded. It's got the whole system in it. Again, I placed it here. I pathed the bin directory within Node. I pathed all up to there. And also notice that once I did the npm install, it put the younow tools in here. Alright, so I think that is it. I think that would be useful for someone to know, hey, what's up? To know. Good to have. Now in Windows, I'm not sure how to translate those TS files, but Windows will play the TS files for you. I don't know if anybody's still here or not. And it does take a while to convert, especially if it's a gigabyte long, but it didn't take that long to download. Of course, I have some decent bandwidth going on here. Wrong. There. So that's gonna take a while for it to convert over. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop this here right now. I think that was a good presentation. I'm happy with that.